All right, everybody, it's another episode of the Reserve Man Podcast. Out it round, I got with me GP.
What's happening?
Shagari.
Dollar Margolis.
What's up, Sam?
Well, what's good?
We have with us the lovely Tyeasha Danielle.
Hey.
And her friend Ashley. Say what's up.
What's up, everybody?
Bodyguard.
Hey, friend Ashley.
It is Mental Health Awareness Month. We're going to talk about depression. How to deal with depression. How seeking help with depression. It's not funny, y'all. We're going to talk about defeating depression, and we're going to talk about fitness. That and so much more right after this.
You know your credit score bad. I'm not surprised you on the job, but that's solid quality time. Right. Why is Steve Harvey still writing books when it's all Wait a minute. So if I want you, I ain't saying you to Waffle House at 4 a.m. Cause you bullshit. Hey, look, I care about you. We going to Waffle House. And
All right, everybody, we are back. We got a great episode for you today. It is still Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yep. Yeah, keep that tight, y'all. Get checked out if you feel like you need to.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But first, let's start off by introducing our lovely guest, Miss Tyeasha Danielle.
Hi, Tyeasha Danielle. That's what I like to be called by.
Okay.
Ty. You like Ty, right?
I like Ty, but I'm trying to go by more of Tyeasha Danielle. So.
Ooh, you just want to make it. You really want me to say? You want me to say Tyeasha Danielle? I say
Yeah, because it's actually my Instagram name as well. I changed it. I'm trying to be more.
So she's
professional.
trying to get people to hit her to follow her.
Then follow. All right.
It's at Tyeasha Danielle.
Yes, it is.
Okay, at Tyeasha Danielle, y'all. So
Instagram plug.
why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Tyeasha Danielle. I'm from Ethel, Louisiana, which is north of Baton Rouge.
Well,
Like how far? Like an hour away?
Actually, it can be, depends on how fast you drive, about 40 minutes, I'll say.
So that's like around Zachary?
Yeah, actually, it's like 20
St.
minutes
Francisville.
from. Yeah, it's before St. Francisville, actually.
Is that where Northeast High School is? Around there?
It's in between.
so it's off of 61.
Oh, I thought you was Jon Snow North. You ain't no real North.
It's actually, Ethel can go between Highway 19 into Highway 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just one street, just leaving from Zachary, going from 19, and before you know it, you're in Ethel.
Right there.
Okay.
And if you blink your eye, you pass Ethel.
Okay. What did you do in Ethel, like growing up, like for fun? Like what was the thing?
We had a good time.
I'm talking
in
about like
Ethel.
high school growing up.
Oh, there's one school. There's one
Okay.
school.
Oh, okay. The high school.
The high school is elementary, middle is a complex. It was a complex.
It's all one school.
Yeah, now they have transitioned. There's several schools now. But when I was in school, it was the elementary, middle, and high in one school, which was Jackson High.
La la.
Yeah.
All right.
Which was Jackson School Complex.
So what
that's
was
where you from? All right.
the
Yeah.
thing to do for young teenage the high school kids?
I ain't gonna say nothing.
Yeah,
You can answer.
no, I'm not gonna downplay my hometown. Well, we had a small band. Most kids were in a band. We had a football team. It wasn't like the best football team, but we had a football team.
What division?
Okay.
They were 2A and
were
they
2A.
lost to Ascension Catholic.
He would know. He
Okay.
would know.
They
bro.
lost to Ascension
See,
Catholic. I'm
he-
just
If
go ahead and
only
put
if
it
only
in.
they can see my eye roll, so that would work.
Starbucks days is meant to be.
Wait a minute.
saying.
Tyeasha Danielle.
He gonna do that
Wait,
all day.
I
I know. Okay, well, once again, it's Mental Health Awareness Month.
It is.
You've come in to talk to us because you want to have a personal testimony about depression. I guess a good place to start is, what do you think led to you being depressed?
Actually, I wasn't aware that I was depressed for a long time. Once I realized it was actually when I was at rock bottom.
So when you were at rock bottom,
Meaning I was suicidal.
so do you have a good, I guess, estimate as to when it first started happening now? Until like how long?
Until she realized it.
Yeah, how long happened before like you realized it? Like looking back on it, can you pinpoint when it first started happening?
Yeah, actually, I think when I look back and really saw when depression really started, I had to be about 6 years old, believe it or not. And some people think kids can't be depressed. Yeah, everything that's happening around you, and especially being the oldest child, and your dad, I was dealing with my mom and dad. They were splitting. My dad, he had an addiction. So when my dad left, I felt like all the responsibility was left on me, being that I was the oldest child, because my mom, she had to work and take care of 2 other kids besides me.
Do you feel comfortable telling us what kind of addiction?
He was addicted to drugs. It was drugs.
Okay.
It was drugs.
And I know sometimes when parents divorce, kids
They
sometimes...
were never married.
Okay, well, even when they split,
Okay.
I know sometimes children have a tendency to blame themselves. Was that the case for you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to next. Actually, I felt as though it was my fault. Because when the situation happened, my dad, he was really high one day, and he dropped my mom off at work, and he was supposed to take, me and my siblings with him, but he ended up dropping us off in my aunt's house. So on his way back, he picked us up. The car ran out of gas. When the car ran out of gas, he just parked the car on the side of the road. And he was so high. Man, my dad was so high. And he just got out the car and he left us.
Wow.
So, I mean, you vividly remember this.
Yeah. And my dad left us. And that moment, I'm like, okay, wait. Is he coming back? So I'm about 5 or 6. I'm about 5 or 6. My sister, she had to be about 3. And my baby sister, she was in a car seat. So at that moment, I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Who's going to help us on this? Like, it was daylight, but it was like down a road, whereas no one can see us because we were like down a little hill.
This was in Ethel?
This was in actually St. Francisville, and actually the name of the road was Sullivan Road, and I have yet to go down that road since that happened.
Wow.
And this is something that I'm actually trying to face. Well, there was a car that drove up, and it was a white guy. He pulled up, and he was in like a white pickup truck. It kind of sounds like a movie, but it was just a real thing that was happening. And the guy got out, and he was trying to tell me to unlock the door. And immediately I'm like, no, I'm not opening the door. I don't know you. And so I'm telling my sister, hey, duck, but I'm 5 or 6. I'm telling a 3-year-old to duck. My baby sister, she's asleep, but it's hot in the car. So my sister, she's hot, she's crying and whatnot. Okay, so we're in the car. So long story short, what happened with that, my mom ended up coming, and we get in the car with my mom. So we get back to the house, and my mom, she's checking on her kids, asking what's going on. And so I'm explaining to her, telling her what happened. I'm just like, hey, Dad stole the ring, because he told me not to steal the ring. Not to tell Mom that I stole the ring, because he was going to buy me a Happy Meal. But when you promise a child you're going to buy a Happy Meal and you don't do that, guess what?
Right.
I'm going to tell exactly what you did. So you didn't buy my Happy Meal. So I told told my mom what my dad did. And my dad, by then, he walked into the house. And so when he walked in, he heard, what I was saying. And he called me to the living room, and he was just like, hey, didn't I tell you to stay out of grown people business? I know y'all have heard that, it's a child. So when he said that, my dad immediately hit me. And I actually still have the bruise on the side of my face here. So my dad, when he hit me, and he was still high on drugs, and when he hit me, he and my mom, they got into a physical altercation. And that's when my dad left. And my dad was gone for about 10 years. And I blame myself, because I felt like if I hadn't told, my dad probably would still be there.
Sorry, pull your hair back one more time for me.
So it's underneath the little eyebrow.
What, the eyebrow right there?
Yeah,
the little mark?
the little thing right there. Yeah.
So you actually drew blood.
Yeah, well, I was like, when he hit me, like my face, the corner of my face hit the fireplace.
Oh.
So yeah.
I'm sorry, I mean, you said it like it wasn't that big of a deal. But
Nah, that's a big
I was-
deal.
I
What, a
wasn't-
lifetime scar?
it's a brick.
Yeah.
It's a brick fireplace.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was about 5 or 6, so back then the houses they were built
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you really had to tear them down.
Because you used the term bruise, and I was like, okay. But looking at it, yeah, that's got to be traumatic.
Yeah. So
So I mean, your depression. I mean, you say you believe that it started around 6. Was it an off and on thing, or was it like start off small and got grew bigger and
it started off small because when my dad hit me and he told me to stay out of grown people business, even when I saw adults doing something wrong, I wouldn't say anything because I feared I would be hit. I feared that there's a punishment that's going to come behind it.
Yeah.
So I kind of like used that to anything that was going on, like family, I just like, okay, I'm not going to say anything. So I became mute. I started becoming a mute child. I would talk, but I wouldn't say what was really going on. So, so it just like led into whereas I started being sexually assaulted by some family members, and I wouldn't say anything because I feared, that
And repercussions.
yeah, something would happen to me,
Well, my question is, at what age did you actually realize you were in a state of depression? Because you said that you thought it started at 6, but like when did you realize?
I was actually an adult when I really.
So before, I'm sorry, bro.
No, it's good. It's all
Before
good.
we get there, I mean, what kind of? I just want to put the timeline together. Like, so the incident with your father happened around 6.
Yeah.
When the sexual assaults, when did that start happening?
Actually, the first time it happened, I think I was about 9. I would say about 9. Yeah, about 9.
And how long did that last?
It actually lasted until I was about 11 till I was old enough to babysit my sisters myself. Because I
Okay.
asked my mom. Well, my mom, she was working like 2 or 3 jobs at a time. So
they would come over to babysit, and
no, actually my mom, when she go to work, my aunt would actually pick us up after school. And so we would just get off the bus. We wouldn't see our mom until maybe like 11 p.m. at night. So we'll see her that morning, like getting ready for school, but we wouldn't see her again until 11 p.m. So basically we wouldn't see our mom the whole day.
So I don't want to ask you who was doing this, but is it something that you ever came to terms with and like speak up on it or tell your mom or your parents that something was going on? Did you ever tell somebody about it?
My mom found out last year.
Oh wow.
and how old are you now?
I'm 32.
How did she take that?
She was angry, but her question was, why did you feel like you couldn't tell me? And I explained to her why I felt like I couldn't tell. The reason why it wasn't that I couldn't talk to my mom is I felt like the responsibility was left on me, because who was going to take care of us, like who's going to babysit us? My mom, she had to work. My dad was gone.
Right.
He was gone, and he would pop in and out, but he wasn't someone that was providing. My mom was taking care of us. So I felt like either I just deal with it for a short time. Once I turned 11, then I have to deal with it anymore.
So after you turned 11, between that and I guess adulthood, when you realized that you were having depression issues, were there any more traumatic events, or did your depression just slowly increase based on what had already happened?
It did. Everything built on each other.
Yeah.
So it was like from my dad walking away, I started to think that was expected. If I do something wrong, that any man, that by then I was becoming a teenager.
Right.
So I'm about to start dating. So I didn't have that male figure to tell me, hey, you're not supposed to be mute with men. So I would do everything possible to keep the guys that I was dating in my life, to keep fear they would leave, just like my dad did, you know? So that played a part in my dating life. Like, my whole identity was lost in just pain completely. So even once I started becoming sexually active, because those acts when I was like between 9 and 11, there wasn't actual intercourse, but it was being touched, you know, inappropriately.
Right.
So, I mean, all of it was wrong.
Right.
But once I became sexually active, even when I didn't want to, I feared, okay, well, if I don't do it, he's going to leave.
Right.
So do you feel like you became sexually active sooner than you would have had you not been touched?
I did. I really did.
At what age?
Actually, I lost my virginity. I think I was about 16. I was about 16. And when it happened, I remember I was in class and we were like, a lot of girls, they were just talking about how, you know, by then 16, they had a few classmates that already had a child. So they were just like, oh, you're a virgin, they teasing me and whatnot. But so I was dating an older guy. He was a senior in high school. And he was just like, well, if we don't do it, then I can get it from somebody else. So that triggered me.
Damn.
Well, where were you living at this point?
I was in Ethel.
Okay.
Why you asked that?
I think you meant like
That's normal country stuff though.
Yeah, because, you know,
That's normal stuff anywhere.
it is.
No, especially in the country though.
It is normal stuff anywhere, but I'm assuming because she was in Ethel that the class wasn't that big.
Yeah, Jackson wasn't that big of a school.
So a
So
few,
everybody was doing it.
a few in Ethel is different from the few in Monroe. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know, bro. I know dudes in the city in New Orleans who hit, you know, chicks with the
New
same
Orleans
type
is
of
a different.
stuff.
New Orleans is a different country.
How big was your graduating class?
Actually, I think it was 54.
Yeah, that's
See
what I
I'm
expected.
saying?
Ashley over there laughing.
Ashley had to sip some water.
See what I'm saying? So like,
There's some good people come out of the small
No, it's
graduating
54.
classes now.
Actually, we started class with 100, and we had a lot of dropouts. So half the class dropped out.
why?
That's
Half. I think anywhere half is like
What's going on?
significant.
With half the population? Everybody want to be drug lords?
I mean, well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, they have some really good people there. So
They were serving up them turkey wings in the stands at the football
So-
game. That's what they were doing.
we wasn't college prep. We really wasn't. So
let's keep moving. So you went to college.
yeah, I did.
Where'd you go to college?
Southeastern. Actually, I was the first to be accepted into college.
That's dope.
So let's talk about college.
What kind of impact do you think your experiences leading up to that point had on you as far as like what you were doing in college?
I couldn't focus in college.
Okay.
I couldn't focus. When I actually went to college, I was completely lost. I was full of fear.
Mm-hmm.
You know how some people, they go to college is ready. I was scared.
What were you scared of?
I was scared of just being away from home, one.
Okay.
Two, just the different type of guys. You're in college. I mean, Katrina had just happened, so you got like, I mean, my dad is from New Orleans.
Don't be saying bad stuff about the New
So
Orleans dude.
my dad is from New Orleans. He's not from Ethel. Like, you know, he lives in New Orleans now.
At that point in your life, did you feel safe at home?
Did I feel safe at home? Yeah, I did. I did, because by then, you know, I wasn't experiencing any type of sexual assault or anything like that. So, I mean, it was me taking care of my sisters by then. My sisters, when I went to college, my sisters, they were like high school and middle school. So,
Yeah.
everybody was okay. So, but you would have thought as soon as I went to college, that was my freedom. No, I still feared. So, I remember when I went to college, this guy, he was like, you know, trying to date me or whatnot, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and beat him to the punch. I know he just wants sex, and that's what I felt. So I felt, I'm being honest, I felt like that's what everybody wanted, because when I was going through the sexual assault, like, it was like, hey, you're so pretty. I was always told that I was pretty, but with the pretty becomes the touching, or, you know, so I always expected something more. So I was like, okay, he wants something from me, you know. So I entertained him maybe for like 2 weeks or so. So we ended up sleeping together, and I cried, and that was that. So then after that, I just couldn't focus, and we were in the class together, and I remember me leaving and walking out of a class because of it.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't say anything bad about me, but I just like, wow, I really slept with this guy.
So the fact that you felt like you slept with him early made you cry, or what was the exact reason?
I slept with him because I felt like that's what he wanted without even asking, if that's what he wanted. He may have actually wanted to date me, but because I had been dealing with so much of things in my past, with being sexually assaulted for, a long period of time, just assuming that's what all men wanted from me.
How was your self-esteem and
My
self-worth at that point?
Very low.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Very, very low. And it was like, okay, guys looking at me, I feel like at the time I was really, really fit. I mean, I was a dancer. I used to be a dancer and everything. So I felt like when a guy would see me, they will only see the body.
Right.
It wasn't, oh, well, she's smart or, like that, but they'll see the body.
Physical attributes.
Yeah. And so I just assumed, okay, she's just pretty and that's what they want.
I got so many questions, but
Yeah.
we need to take a quick break.
Please.
Okay? We'll be back with more right after this. All right, everybody, we are back and we are talking. Man, we talking about a serious topic, y'all. I would not tell a lie. I teared up a little bit. Like I don't know what's going on, fellas. Like ever since I got over into my 30s, like I'm more emotional. Like
And you have been more of a sensitive Jay.
I be watching movies and I just tear up. And, I was listening to Tyeasha Danielle's story.
Well,
if you can see this look of disbelief on Stan.
Well, I don't want to, put toxic masculinity out there. So I'm not gonna make fun of you for that. So I'll just shut up.
Hey, bro. But if you want to make fun of me, that don't make it better. Like.
Or no, it's just I'll be being toxic at that point. So
You toxic if you want to make fun of me. You already toxic.
I mean, but that's kind of like if a tree falls in the wood, no one's here to hear it. Does it make a sound?
I hear it.
But he didn't make fun of you.
It was loud.
let's get back to the topic.
He said it all with his face. It was loud.
I do.
Anyway, so yes. Guys was only, concerned with your body. You felt that way.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, that's based on your previous experiences, or when you was in college, dudes only talked about your body, like nobody tried to have a conversation with you, or
No, actually, it was my mindset because like I said, I stated earlier, when I was younger, it was one of my cousins. Every time he would tell me I was pretty, then he would touch me. So as my body started developing, it was, hey, you're pretty, and then it's touch on leg or try to touch further or something like that. So as I was getting older, I just assumed that's what men wanted.
Well, you said this stopped at 11.
Right.
So what age did that start?
I was about 9. Yeah, I was about 9.
Okay.
So I would say I was about 9. Maybe in like 7, but I would say about 9. I remember 9 for sure.
But what Shagari previously asked you about when you lost your virginity, and you said 16.
Correct.
So in between that time from when the sexual assault stopped, and 16, how did you go about treating, or how did you view guys at that point in time in that period?
Well, when I wasn't sexually active, like I said, I lost my virginity at 16. So when I was in school, I would, dress a certain way. Like I would maybe like wear like a short skirt or something like that. Like when we had like free dress days because we wore uniforms, or I'll like wear my uniforms tighter because I'm like, okay, well that's what they want to see. That's the way I want to act. So I wasn't like someone that would throw themselves at guys, but I just put it out there so they'll know.
Gotcha.
So I want to ask this in the most non-disgusting way possible, because there's no doubt about it. That molestation that occurred, that's disgusting. But I'm listening to you talking about how you dress and everything. Were you one of those young ladies that developed early, like you were already voluptuous, like junior high?
No, actually I was very skinny, but I always had some curves. I wasn't like an up and down, like, skinny girl. I still had curves. But being that, I'm trying not to sound really, really arrogant, saying, okay, you're like pretty,
We know you humble. We know you humble.
Well, because I'm really not trying to sound like that.
We've been talking to you for a while. We know you're very humble, but I mean, if you was pretty and fine, you can say that.
But I was a skinny girl, but I was cute. And I used to wear, like, I remember football games and stuff like that. I would like have like a crop top on and like really short shorts. So even though I was small, I still had little curves. You still saw when she gets older, because they had older guys at the football games. That's who I was targeting, like the older guys. So I remember me going to a football game and one of the guys was like, "Oh, when she become 18, she's gonna be right," because you can see the body frame.
The targeting of the older guys, do you think that's because of what transpired with your cousin?
Yeah, because he was older. He was much older. Okay.
So, I mean, we beat that to death. I actually want to move on a little bit.
Right.
So, at what point, because you see you were an adult, at what point did you reach bottom? Because you said the change didn't occur until you reached bottom.
Right.
Okay, so I started dating a guy. And, well, it wasn't even dating. It was a situationship, because by the end, my self-esteem was so low, I didn't even think about actual relationships, So we were in a situationship, and I'm not a drinker. And we went...
As we know.
Right.
So we went out for drinks, and actually, it was PF Chang's. It's an inside thing, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's all good.
So we went to PF Chang's. So after that, we end up getting extra drinks. He actually made it like a little drink at the house and stuff. We got really, really drunk. It didn't take much for me to get drunk.
Nightcap.
So so we end up having sex. So right after the sex, I started crying, and I was like, I did it again. Like, I really did it again. And he was, at the time, seemed like he was being a comforter or whatever. He was like, you don't have to cry, I'm going to be here, for you. All right. We get back to work. I'll say about a week. He told everybody that we had sex. So by then, I'm being,
So he was a coworker?
He was a coworker.
Okay. Well, I feel like it's important for people to know where you're at in your life at this point, like in relation to college, because we've been, talking about everything like a chronological order. So how old are you right now?
I had to be about 24, 25.
So it's not that long after college.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I was about 24, 25. To pick back up what I was saying, he tells everyone at the job, so believe it or not, there is this thing called adult bullying. So there was a lot of women, and he was a popular guy. A lot of women liked him.
Okay.
At the job. So I was just
jealous.
I was so happy to one that actually got to sleep with him. I wasn't like, I got to sleep with this guy, but hey, that's what they wanted. When he tells everyone, next thing you know, they're saying, oh, well, Ty's a hoe, Ty, she slept with him, making me feel like like I'm just like this horrible person, and then now he's not even talking to me. I'll come in the room, he's in there, I'll speak to him, he'll act like I wasn't even there.
Yeah. Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. And so then later he was still like, messaging me, and sadly, I was still sleeping with him. Yeah, but, my self-esteem was that low there, whereas even when I come back to work, he'll still act like, like he doesn't know me sometimes, but that's where I was. So
at what point in that situation did you be like, damn, I can't do this no more, and you actually hit that rock bottom? It
came to the point whereas I was living with a coworker. We were roommates, and things had got so bad because she was a friend. She was a really good friend, but because I had so much going on, and I actually thought that I loved this guy or something like that, that I was turning against her, and she was just trying to tell me, hey, you're too cute for that. That's what she used to say. She was like, you're too cute for that, like stop letting him do this or whatever. So I kind of turned my back on her, and then I started befriending some more unpopular people, but like they say, you attract where you are in life, and so my self-esteem was low. So my friends that I was attracting, they were just like me at the time.
Right.
So basically everything in my life started falling apart. I basically, he stopped working at the job, and I did something on a job that involved him that almost got me fired. So when that happened, everything just started falling apart. I couldn't pay my rent, my car, everything was just falling apart. Everything was falling apart. And at that point, my roommate, she didn't want to be roommates anymore. So I basically had to move into an apartment alone. First time actually living alone. Barely couldn't afford it. Everything was falling apart at that point. And I just felt like I didn't have a way out.
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, and so it wasn't like I can go to my mom and ask for money. I mean, I was already borrowing money from my little sister, which was in the military at the time. I was getting money from her, and that made me feel even worse because this was my little sister.
Right.
I'm the oldest. I'm supposed to be helping. I'm supposed to, but I was broke. I couldn't do anything, and my body was basically, by then we would stop having sex because the guy, he had got a girlfriend, he basically told me I wasn't his type to date as a girl, to be his girlfriend, and it was just so much that was happening. I just felt like I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have a purpose. I had already dropped out of college, and I dropped out of college not because I wasn't smart, because I'm extremely smart. I dropped out because I couldn't focus. And I'm like, I have nothing else left.
How far along did you get before you dropped out?
Actually, it was my sophomore year. Okay. It was my sophomore year. When you look at my transcripts at the time, I still had good grades. I mean, I'm the type that really don't have to study.
Yeah.
Not bragging, y'all.
Yeah.
But
we all know that you smart and fine.
I like to read. But the thing is, I used to dumb myself down. To appease other people around me.
Yeah, because you didn't want to intimidate anybody else. So
yeah, and it just was so much that was going on. It was so much that was going on, and I was embarrassed. And like me and my mom didn't have the best relationship because my mom was disappointed because I dropped out of school. My mom had worked 3 jobs and all this stuff, and she knew I was smart. And she seen her other nieces and stuff like that. They're graduating, and one time my mom told me, she was like, you're not like other young girls, they went on ahead and finished college, because she couldn't stand my boyfriend at the time. You just stopped. And when she did that it just never left my head. And every time I would do something, I just felt like I was just failing, and I was like, I have no purpose. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right. So okay, you mentioned that your world is kind of crumbling. You know, you got in trouble at work. You stopped going to school. You having issues with your roommate. You borrowing money from your younger sister. Was this at a point to where you started seeing like signs of maybe a hint that you had some type of issue, or was it still where you were kind of blaming your issues externally? Like, how did you feel at this point in time?
At that point, I just felt like everything was just too far out of my hands. Like, okay. I couldn't put it back together.
Your head was underwater.
Yeah, I just, like, it was so much like I feel like I dig myself in this hole and I just can't get out of it.
How much time is passing right now?
I was about 20. It was about 26 because I only worked there for 2 years.
Okay.
I guess from the time that you initially slept with this guy until you like couldn't take it anymore, or started having the suicidal thoughts, like how much time transpired?
Between there and so I think I've dealt with it. It had to be within, like, I'll say about a year into it. I thought about it. Okay. Because one time I thought about it, I was just like, hey, I'm gonna just run my car into something, just crying. And I was like, no, I can't do that. That's gonna be painful. Like, I was really plotting.
No, that's important because right. I think a lot of people hear about suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideation, but like they don't know like how it really happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about it that way, and then when the final break came, I started doing little things. I got a new job, but it was still in the same area, but it was actually walking distance from my old job. But like I said, everything was still falling apart, and from then I started doing weird things. And some people don't realize the signs of a depressed person or somebody's doing different changes. I cut my hair off, and people thought, oh, well, she did the big chop. I've been natural since 2009, so no. I cut my hair off. I dyed my hair like this weird color.
So, I'm sorry. What year is this?
This was in 2014. This is 2014. Okay. This was actually me just coming to. So I was working late night. It was almost midnight, and I remember me recording on my phone. I was really sad, and I was leaving a note basically to my mom because I already had a plan what I was going to do. I was recording on my phone. I was like telling my mom, like, please don't be mad at me.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. I just basically telling her I have a lot on me. And the reason why I was recording on my phone because my sister, she's really nosy. So if something had happened, my sister, first thing she would have done is went through my phone and she would have found it. And I just didn't want them to feel like it was their fault. They could have done something because it was things that was happening that I never told my mom. So when I went home that night, getting off of work, I filled my tub up, and I really, I thought about just electrocuting myself because I wanted to feel the pain, but I just wanted it to go away. I wanted to feel the pain leaving my body. Everything. I wanted to destroy my body because by then I had already started gaining weight, and some people think, oh, well, you gain weight because you're overeating. I wasn't eating. So when I did eat, my body was storing it as fat.
Right. So your metabolism was super low.
Yeah. And so I wouldn't get enough sleep either because sleeping it does affect your metabolism. So you really need to sleep. But, so that night, I had all plans to end my life because I just felt like I couldn't take it anymore.
This is 2014.
This was 2014.
Okay.
And what stopped you?
Some people may not believe, but I've known God all my life, but I was so embarrassed by the things that I did, I kind of pulled myself away. And at that moment, God showed me He was still there and He wasn't leaving me. And so I filled my tub up to get in the water. I think I turned away from my tub maybe like about 10 minutes or so. Just 10 minutes or so. Just to set my phone. I kid you not. When I turned over, that tub was half empty. I couldn't kill myself if I wanted to.
He made you not stop up the drain, huh?
No, I had to stop in. It just...
And it's still, and the water still went
You know
out.
how, I don't know if you ever experienced, you put the stopper in and you just like, wait, is it still like...
Right.
So, obviously, God shifted that thing around to where it really wasn't like in the hole like it needed to be. So, and at that moment,
crazy.
But at that moment when I turned around, like this everything just changed at that moment. When I turned around, I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. I couldn't do anything. And all I hear was my voice, which is God's voice, is your voice, you know, and I hear, stand firm in my word. What? Like, what's going on, you know, right now? And at that moment, like, I just felt like this comfort, like, felt like, you know, like he was just hugging me. And I couldn't do anything but cry, but I couldn't talk. I couldn't move. And I couldn't do anything but just cry.
You were by yourself at this point.
I was by myself. I was alone. And I hear my phone ringing. And this is the connection that God has between me and my mom. I hear my phone ringing, but I couldn't get to it, you know? And so when God finally released me, I go to my phone. My mom had called about 15 times. So she was like, hey, are you okay? And I was like, you know, I straightened my voice because I don't want to worry her. That's my last thing. I don't want to be a burden to my mom. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. It's just like, no, something's not right. I feel like something was wrong with one of my children, and I kept seeing your face. And I'm still crying, but I didn't let her hear I'm crying. And I said, yeah, I'm okay, Mom. And I hung up the phone. I just broke down crying. God told me, go get a glass of water, drink the water, and rest. And that moment when I went to sleep, everything changed. Everything.
How did it change?
The next day, I woke up and I started praying. And I hadn't really prayed and told my truth to God, even though you know how you think you can hide from God. I was forced to face and just tell him everything, you know, what, you know, even though he already saw everything, but he wanted to hear it from me. And I just prayed, and after I prayed and when I went to work, just everything changed, whereas I ended up getting a raise that same day.
Wow, that's crazy.
I ended up getting a raise that same day. Then I would say maybe a few weeks later, my car, like I said, it had already been falling apart, and I didn't know anything about credit. I didn't know what my credit score was and all that stuff. Yeah, I was like 26, didn't know anything about credit and all that. It's pretty late bloomer, right? So he was just like, get up and go get a car. I'm like, what? You know, what? And he just started speaking to me. And so from that moment, like everything, from that moment when I just turned my life over, okay, God, I'm going to just do everything you say. And once I decided to do that, everything changed. From me getting another car, me getting a raise on my job, me getting baptized. You know, everything changed. Then I started practicing abstinence. And with that, my relationship started building. And I started seeing my purpose. And then 2015, I got into fitness.
Okay.
So, with me getting into fitness, I would go to Planet Fitness around 2 a.m., get off the job at like midnight, get to the gym around 2. And I couldn't even walk on the treadmill longer than 2 minutes without crying. So I would just put some gospel music on. And before you know, you got Kurt Franklin and all that stuff like that. You on the treadmill about 30 minutes. Right. So I would do that every night, and I just started feeling like a lot of like pressure being relieved, because I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody. I was still embarrassed about everything I had been through, and like, you know, who would believe all this stuff, or who would go back and tell everybody this is what I've done, or would you judge me? So I used the gym as my outlet. So I would go to the gym and I would just work out, you know, didn't know what I was really doing. You know, I would just go late at night because I was still ashamed. I didn't want anybody to really see me. And that's where I was at.
Well, let me ask you this. So what's your thoughts on someone going through something similar to what you went through, seeking out professional help? Psychologist, psychiatrist, something of that nature.
I would say if you're having not just suicidal thoughts, if you're just feeling just low about yourself, reach out to anybody, or do like I did after, you know, wasn't even just the gym. I started journaling, and that would help. And anytime you're feeling low or just that self-doubt, because some people think just, okay, if you doubting yourself, that's normal. It's not always normal, because then we start normalizing, you know, that, and then it becomes bigger, because that's what it starts from.
Right.
But I would say if you have a friend that you can talk to them, if you have, like, you know, a teacher or somebody you can talk to them. Don't think about whether this person is going to judge you, because even if you may run into somebody that may judge you, but that's gonna help release what you're feeling at that moment, instead of allowing it to build on each other.
Is there anything you feel like someone that's a friend, a family member, a teacher, a loved one should look for? Because like I know you saying about your mother, you don't want to worry. You know, you're trying to sound like you okay. Like, so what kind of things should someone look for?
I wouldn't say drastic changes, because with me it was drastic changes. But sometimes if you just find somebody when they're just too quiet, you know, especially if you know they talk a lot, you know, if they're just too quiet, or if they're changing their patterns. Like, you know, sometimes people change their patterns, and that's the sign of depression. People don't even look at stuff like that. Just like, oh, well, they're just walking into a new light. No, sometimes that could be a sign of depression. That, and I would say with women changing their hair. Because sometimes we do things, we change our hair to get the attention, but sometimes we can do that because it's like identity things.
See, that's a hard one, because some women change their hair like every week.
And I'm one of them. But like I said, that was the first thing when I really wanted to, like, you know, when I was at this suicidal point, I cut my hair off.
So like a drastic.
Yeah, I chopped my hair off, and so people didn't really think of it. They just like, oh, well, she just did a big chop. And sometimes just cutting your hair may be a release, but with me, it was I chopped my hair off, and it wasn't the perfect cut. It was like a really bad cut. Then I dyed my hair like this blonde color, and it was a bad dye.
So you was like,
so you looking toe up.
Yeah, I was very
toe up.
You was like Cisco.
Yeah, actually, and I still have I post the pictures on Facebook. They're actually still on Facebook. So it was a bad thing. So some people think it was okay, but it was not.
One question is, I think you want to go to break, moderator.
We about to.
But one question I have is, you talked about professional help. So after you realized that you were in a state of depression, did you seek professional help afterwards, outside of just prayer and then using the gym as an outlet?
Actually, no, I didn't. But I wouldn't suggest people not to, because you know, in my situation, I wasn't familiar with my resources. You know, I didn't know that my job actually paid for it. And a lot of people don't realize most employers, they actually pay for these things.
Yep.
And they're in your, you know, if you read your benefit packages, it's there. And I didn't realize, you know, that my job would actually pay for those type of things. Yep. So I didn't seek any type of professional help. All I did was just prayer, church, and then God started sending the right people, because my attitude started changing, you know, myself, like, you know, I was started becoming a different person. He started sending the right people in to whereas I can trust, and start talking just like Ashley. So, you know, that I can just be open to and not worry about being judged, you know? So, but I would strongly suggest people to read their benefit packages.
Please
and
do.
talk. And not only if you have a job that doesn't provide it, there are so many different resources now that I've learned and I know about. There's so many different resources that you can reach out to and talk to people about anything that's just willing to listen.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I know they have suicide helplines.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. They do. Actually, I called it to make sure it was just legit one time. But that was like way after, after I healed and everything. But I did, call just to make sure it was like legit. So
I know fitness was a huge thing for you as far as getting back on track. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more right after this. All right, everybody, we are back with Tyeasha, Danielle. Oh man, we've come so far.
Yeah,
We've come so far.
It's been a journey.
It's been a journey. Tyeasha, Danielle, you've told us that fitness has been pivotal in your transformation mentally. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? How did you first get into it, and what has that meant for you as far as your self-esteem, as far as how you conduct yourself, your confidence level? Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so how I got into fitness, after I overcame the suicidal thoughts and actually almost committed suicide. Like I said, the next day everything seems to change. There was a lot of great things that was happening. So a friend of mine was joking around.
I'm sorry. I just need, was it drastic to you? It's like the day before you was walking around, and it was like in the cartoons with the rain cloud over your head, and then the next day it was just all sunny.
No, it wasn't sunny. I didn't have the suicidal thoughts. It was just was I really about to do that?
So but it was a gradual process.
Yeah. It actually took a while.
Okay.
I was like, I really was about to do that. So a friend of mine was joking around, was like, hey, you should go to the gym with me. And he was oversized at the time. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you should go to the gym with me. I'm like, what are we going to do at the gym? So what are we going to do at the gym? I mean, he's like that extended family member to me now. So we go to the gym, and it's late night. It's 2:00. Like I said, we go to the gym. Both of us didn't know what the heck we were doing. On the treadmill, talking and stuff like that. And so then I started going by myself.
Okay.
Because he wasn't consistent. Because the days that Planet Fitness, when we did go, they had the leftover pizza and stuff like that. You take a whole pizza and stuff like that. So
how often were you going?
Actually, I was going every night, even on my off days.
You just doing a treadmill?
I was just doing treadmill. I was doing treadmill, and so then I started moving around into I guess it was the little ab room or something like that.
Okay.
I started moving over to try to do that. I couldn't do 10 sit-ups.
Yeah.
But, I started doing that, and then I started following people on Facebook because I wasn't into Instagram at the time. I started following different people that was doing fitness on Facebook. And then one day I post myself in a gym, and people were like, I need to join you. I'm like, okay, just come on.
Right.
So, then a few friends would come to the gym with me, and then it motivated me. And I realized, I was like, okay, I can do this. So I would still do it. I was still, Then before long, I started changing my eating habits because I am a country woman. So I used to cook
Got to ruin everything.
Oh, I used to
Fried
Macaroni,
pork chops.
Let's
candy
talk-
yams.
I was just on my
Candy
Facebook doing the shirt and like I
yams.
used to cook.
Carbs on carbs on carbs.
Bake some chocolate cake with some cornbread.
could eat back then. I can eat a family pack of smothered pork chops by myself.
Oh, shit. And high blood pressure.
Right. So
cholesterol, everything.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So I started changing the way I would eat only because at that moment my mom, she was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
And so my mom was like, out of 14 siblings, she was like almost the last one to be diagnosed with this. And I'm like, dang, I didn't think my mom would actually get it, you know?
Right.
And when it happened, it kind of scared me because I'm like, wait, this could happen to me, you know? Then I don't want to lose my mom because I have had like aunts and stuff that died from that.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I was like, okay, let me change the way I eat.
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped eating pork.
Okay.
I gave up beef. Beef was easier for me to give up because I only ate beef when I would eat hamburgers because I don't eat ribs. I don't eat steak.
So pork is much harder for black people.
Yeah, so you don't eat no pork.
I don't eat any pork.
So
I haven't had pork since 2015.
So hypothetically, you pass through Lafayette or something, you don't stop the Billy's or Best Stop, get you
I
the
don't
cracker.
want it. I don't even crave for it.
No bacon.
Don't get up with us on
I eat
Monday.
turkey bacon.
That ain't bacon. That ain't bacon.
Yeah, that's not real
That's
bacon.
not bacon.
At
I
all.
can cook turkey bacon and it'd be crispy too.
Come on, man.
Man, it's not.
It ain't bacon.
Stop it. I mean, it's cool that you eat turkey bacon. Don't try to sit here and act like it's as good as bacon.
Right. There's a reason why there's that turkey in front of the bacon because we don't have to specify pork bacon. It's just bacon.
Well, I eat turkey bacon and it's really good. I just eat it like it's a snack. Actually, that's actually one of my snacks
That's one of
in
your
my meal
snacks?
preps. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, let's get back into what I was talking about, my fitness. So I challenged myself. I said, okay, Ty, if you work out 5 days a week, you're going to buy these $9 pair of shoes. And if you work out 5 days a week for 3 months, then you buy yourself some Nikes. That was my bet for me.
Okay, an incentive base.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What kind of
Nikes?
Nikes?
Okay, now let's
were you buying some shoe Carnival Nikes or were you buying Air Max? That's two different
Now,
things.
reason why the shoes thing is important because I'm not a tennis shoe girl at all.
Right.
Like, you know, like I just started wearing tennis shoes. The only reason I'm wearing tennis shoes is because I work out.
You from Ethel? We got it.
So yeah, you know, flip flops or heels. Now I'm a heels girl. Now my car is full of them.
You wear some cowboy boots.
Now you just negated all of it.
But yeah, so I just picked up just like some $9 shoes. They actually came from the dollar store. I used those for 3 months, and then what happened when the 3 months happened, my mom actually bought me some Nike Zooms or something like that. I appreciate them. They work for me. Actually, I had those shoes on yesterday.
That's better. Hey, that's better than $9 joints.
So she
Starter shoes.
So I used those shoes and it like motivated me. Then I started seeing results. Well, I didn't see results. Everybody else saw the results first. And so then once I started seeing results, then I started doing other things in the gym.
How long it took you to see results?
It took me, I would say, about 6 months.
What?
It took me 6 months because in my mind I still saw this thicker person.
So you probably had results before that, but you didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
Psychological aspect behind it. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see it till I couldn't fit anything for sure. So clothes was really falling off.
Yeah.
So 6 months in, then I started trying other things. Then I started playing around with the Stairmaster, and then I noticed I was like, oh gosh, you just getting really tiny. Like you're not getting in like type of shape and stuff like that because I was so addicted to the Stairmaster. I mean, not the Stairmaster, the treadmill, and I wasn't realizing that I was losing curves and everything. So then I started weight training, and that's when I fell in love.
Okay.
Get them weights.
That's when I fell in love, and then that's when I started getting a better gym membership.
Okay. So you in love. You got your weight together. You know, from what we've heard, you have boot camps and all of this. Like, what's going on? What's really going on?
All right, so I just launched boot camps, which I call 24-hour-glass boot camps. The reason the 24 is because of the waist size. So,
Okay.
And that's actually a motivation for me.
Okay.
Because right now my waist is between a 26 and a 27, so I'm trying to get to a 24.
Mm-hmm.
So I put that on right in the front of it, like 24, like, you know, that's the goal you're trying to get. So I came up with these boot camps. Actually, God came to me and said, I'm laying in bed, hey, I need you to do boot camps. I'm like, what? So, boot camp.
I've been meaning to ask you this since earlier. Like, so when he come to you, like, does he just speak to you? Like I'm talking to you, or is he right on the wall? Like what
No,
happens?
it's usually
it's a
when
feeling?
it's usually in my favorite place in my place. Either I'm in the kitchen, or I'm in the bathroom, or when I'm sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, it was when I was sleeping. It was just like boot camps. I'm like,
I mean, did you have a dream, or you just woke up? And you
actually,
just like,
it wasn't even a dream. It was just like, you know, I thought I heard something.
Yeah.
And people may think this sounds weird, like this girl is crazy. No, I'm not. It was like boot camp. I'm like, what? And so I turned back over to go to sleep. It was like boot camp. And so I get up, and I didn't want to lose what he was saying, so I get up and I just started playing on my phone, and I'm like, boot camps, you know. And so I actually did the flyer on my phone with the Instagram app.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not an Instagram app, but just the app in Apple, out of the Apple store.
okay.
So then the next day I got up. It was about 4 o'clock. It was about 4 o'clock, and I'm doing the flyer. I'm like, God, where am I going with this? And then I'm just talking to him, and he was just like, be the motivation for somebody. The motivation that you needed, be that for somebody else right now.
Okay.
Don't worry about the money right now. That will come.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, God, I'm in school and books are not cheap, but okay, you know. So I'm like, I'm gonna go with that. So I put the
So when did that start? Boot camp.
When did it start?
Yes. Like, when did you start doing the boot camp?
My first boot camp, actually, I think it was May 17th.
I think it was 17.
May 17th, and we're in, what is this? What's today's date? May 23rd?
So a year?
No, this actually just started this
Oh,
month.
last week.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like,
Okay.
yeah. My first boot camp was the 17th. It was on a Friday. And so this has only been a week.
Okay.
So how's it going so far?
It is amazing. It's like, you know, I wasn't expecting when I first put it out there, I didn't expect as much feedback. But I got crazy feedback. I got so much feedback. People were like, I've been waiting on this, you know? And so when I put it out there, I was like, I'm not asking for any money.
Right.
I want you to come out. I want to get everybody involved. I want to motivate you to work out, because all you need is someone to help you get started. And
Actually, we need you to get off the emotional support bench, because you actually went to the boot camp.
Yes, I did. I attended 2 of them so far.
Okay, so tell us about the boot camp, Ashley.
Hey, Ashley.
Hi.
Glad you could join us.
So when Ty's working out, she's like really in the zone. She's
Intense.
yes, it's real intense. The first one wasn't that intense, and it was actually, to me, it was kind of slow. But we had some other ladies there who don't work out, so I understand why it was slow. But I was just like, okay, there's too many breaks.
Yeah.
But it was still good, and it was fun at the same time. I'm gonna continue going to all of them.
Well, we know you're a veteran in the game.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you gotta let other people get brought along.
so, but theme for my boot camps is by levels.
Okay.
So, I'm doing 10 boot camps, and
How often?
actually they're every other week. So I did 3 so far. So most days I do it on Friday, Saturday, or a Wednesday.
Okay.
But I just released the end of May and June dates. So I have, I think, maybe a Tuesday in there too. But they're usually like 5:45 to like 7:15 or 7:30, and the ones on Saturdays are usually like 9 a.m. to like 11.
We're talking morning. Okay.
But the 5:45 p.m. during the week.
During the week.
During the week.
Okay, that's
During the
what we want to know.
During the week.
You hearing the people, y'all know what to do.
So
I got a question. So it's called 24 Hourglass, right?
yeah.
So can guys come to this? Because
Actually,
I'm not trying to be 24 hourglass.
Not only that, but how do people sign up? Like how do
Actually, there's no sign up. There's no sign up.
Just show up.
How do people show up?
Okay,
How do they get the information?
there's no sign up. Actually, what I'm doing, I'm using all my social media platforms. So I'm using Facebook, is at Ty Matthews. I'm using my Instagram, which is Tyeasha Danielle. Also, which I didn't mention, I'm using my my actual business account, which is the Violet Butter brand, because I do make natural hair products.
The what?
The Violet Butter.
Plug all your businesses. Plug them.
The Violet Butter, which is a natural products that I make that can be used on the hair and skin. It's more of a shea butter base.
All right.
So I put all the information that's needed on all 3 accounts, and from there it's like word by ear. Like if some. Yeah. Did I mess that up?
Yeah, you good.
So all you to get information out, you just tell someone, and believe it or not, it spreads. And that's what happened. And
they're gonna see it on our page too.
So I just put all the information out there. Like I said, there's no registration or anything like that, because I host them at the parks. They're community parks. So just come, just show up. That's all I want you to do, is just show up.
And guys can come.
Actually, I got my first guy. I call him the man. He showed up.
Wait, wasn't that guy that was like beating everybody by
Okay, no, that's my friend.
Okay, because he was going hard in one video.
That's my friend. That's actually the guy we actually met at the beginning of the end of my depression.
Okay.
And he became my gym partner.
Okay.
So
yes, he was ready.
I need some explanation. Why do y'all call this guy the man?
Okay, because he was the only guy. His wife, she came to the boot camp, which was in Zachary. And when he came, I was like, we have a guy.
So it wasn't like he was killing the workout. It was just like,
no.
He have a man.
No, he killed the workout too. But I called him the man. I was like, okay, you're from now on, your name is gonna be the man. His name, I want to put his name out there, but shouts out to Galen.
So she didn't want to put it, then she put it.
Galen? Where is Galen from?
Actually, I don't know. I don't know.
But Galen's the man, apparently.
But
you the man, Galen.
But I love his wife. Like, she has been one of my supporters, like, from the beginning of everything I've done. So, but yeah, we call him the man. So he came out, and it actually motivated everybody, because he ended up being a team captain. I try to do like fun things at my boot camps. So it's not like Ashley. Ashley is advanced. And they may have somebody that has never worked out. I'm not gonna make you feel like you can't do anything, because you will be amazed what your body can really do. So instead of like me doing something that may look intimidating, I do it and I make it fun. And then I also partner them up with people that, like, I may partner Ashley up with somebody that may be a beginner, or I may partner Ashley up with another advanced person, and it makes it fun.
So, Tyeasha Danielle, other than the 24-inch waist, do you have any other fitness goals for 2019?
Oh, Lord. Y'all, I'm trying to learn how to do some pull-ups. But I'm trying to get, with me, I'm just trying to be be extremely fit, but not just with fitness. I do want to continue to do the boot camps. Eventually I will go into getting my certification to become a personal trainer. Do I just want to work with ladies? No, I do want to work with kids, because obesity is becoming too common.
Mm-hmm.
And we are forgetting about our children because we have all these game systems and all this stuff, so we not doing a lot of
They ain't
things
going outside no more.
Yeah.
No.
So I really want to work with a lot of the younger girls. We have the guys, we have guys trainers. Like I have one of my friend of mine, my high school friend. He has the Fast 360. He's doing like this amazing thing out in Zachary with like the younger athletes and stuff like that. So y'all please reach out and follow him at Fast 360. Ken Enio, he's doing like this amazing thing with like the younger athletes, and I was actually on his page today looking at like the kids and stuff. He's getting them active, and that's what we need right now.
Right.
So like I said, I plan to get my certificate to become a personal trainer, but I do want to target like our younger girls and stuff like that and get them involved.
Well, for right now, it sounds like you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
I am.
That is awesome.
I am.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more right after this. All right, everybody, we are back. And we got to talk about something that's just a little more lighthearted.
Can Ashley chime in on this one?
Oh, Ashley has to be so in on this one.
Oh, we got you, Ashley.
I'm scared now.
So,
Might want to be.
I was scrolling through Instagram the other day and I came across a post. And I screenshot and shot it to the brothers because I was like, we got to talk about this. So I'm going to read it to y'all first. So it says, y'all need to wake up.
Y'all as being men.
Yes.
Okay.
There's guys out here who are willing to put you through school, start a business, fix your credit, and boss your life up. Y'all out here stressing about these designer wearing bums that watch y'all struggle and can't even put gas in your car.
What do you mean by fix your credit? Or are there guys offering credit restoration services? Or
Yeah, I mean, it's
just
self-evident.
Just
you know?
put her on financial gain. You know what I'm saying?
So this was a post, and somebody else captured this post and reposted it and said, "Preach." Like, I'm just trying to find out. Like, is this a thing? Like, I mean, how y'all feel about this? What's going on? Do y'all expect for the guy that is trying to date you to be coming in with these kind of aspirations, or what's going on?
You want to go first? Because actually, that's.
I feel like somebody young posted that.
Yeah.
I don't look for someone to boss my life up, or I'm single right now, so I'm dating, but I'm not looking for this person to be like to do stuff for me that I can do for myself. But if I'm dating you, I mean, like, if you can't, I'm looking for you to motivate me, but not do it for me.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
you get what I'm saying?
So
I
you
do,
prefer
yeah.
the dude with the Gucci belt to?
No,
It's always
I'm not looking for
Oh.
nobody with the Gucci belt or the labels. I'm not looking really.
Okay, that's what I wanted to.
Yeah,
What do you say?
I get what Ashley's saying, because like even with that, like reading that post
Mhm.
and actually going into just my story, that was the reason why I wouldn't date. I wouldn't date because I felt like I wasn't where I was, and I think we living in a time now. I feel like women have to be on their stuff to even. That's why I feel women have to be financially established to even date, because now guys, they're not being men. Like, like
Wait.
like
You gotta put a sum. A
so
sum.
okay.
Stop.
Some guys.
Complete your thought.
Okay, what I mean by that is, so from what I've experienced in my childhood, my mom.
Well,
She didn't expect my dad to walk out the way he did while she had
Right.
children.
mhm.
That was his kids.
Uh-huh.
But immediately, and she wasn't mentally prepared for it either.
Yeah.
She wasn't even financially prepared. Everything changed. So now I took that and I'm like, okay, I want to make sure I'm financially established because even if I do meet a guy and I marry him, who's to say he's going to stay? I want to have my own because if he decides to leave, I want to be able to take care of my kids on my own. I still want to be able to make sure my children don't go through everything I've been through. That's something that's very passionate for me. Like I don't want my children to experience that.
Well, Tyeasha, Danielle, that sounds wonderful. But let me ask you this: what is it that you think that a man is supposed to do?
I do believe he's supposed to be the provider,
Mm-hmm.
but I also believe that we are supposed to help, and he's supposed to be okay with that. But, let's go.
You giggling. I
so-
want to know what type
so-
of help are you providing? That's what I want to know.
Okay, well, his role.
I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna let y'all.
His
Meaning
ro- his
that
role
by
okay.
any means, by any means, like he won't be there. Okay, there are some guys. They feel like, okay, well, I can't take care of a woman if I work at Church's Chicken. That's bull crap. You may not.
Nah, that's facts.
Wait.
No, you may not be able to take care of a certain type of woman, but I feel like if you're trying, I feel like you can.
So would you marry a man that worked at churches?
Hell no, she wouldn't. I can answer that right now.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
Wait
is
a
he
minute.
the owner of the franchise or is he the cashier?
He's the worker frying the chicken. Would you marry him?
And that ain't even good chicken.
First of all, she
And a
she-
body
she-
chicken.
She can't even stop laughing long enough to talk about the guy that's frying the chicken.
Right.
But before you even get that deep into it, let me ask you this. Okay, so if the man in your relationship is supposed to be the provider, financially, what is your role? What do you do? What are you bringing to the relationship?
I'm still gonna help. I'm still gonna have my own.
Help out?
What type
I'm
of
still
help?
gonna I'm still gonna
What you
bring
talking about?
financial gain to the relationship as well, but
So
I feel like my money is the backup just in case if something happens in his situation.
okay, so if let's say he got money and he handling all the bills, where's your money going?
Into like our savings. Well, hold up.
Wait. You said ours. Don't take it back.
Because I just saw a meme about that, and it was just basically saying that I won't have a joint account.
So will you?
It sounds like, and I'm
Ashley's like you tripping.
from the married perspective on the podcast. It sounds like y'all really wouldn't have joint accounts. It would be like your account and then his account.
Well, I'll have my account, he'll have his account, then we'll agree on
So
a
what
joint
do you do
account.
So
with
where's
your money?
your check going?
Ooh, so deep.
And how much of it?
It's not that deep. It's a very direct question.
Because you could put multiple accounts on a direct deposit.
No, let's get back to the original question.
Where's your money
Where's
going,
your
John?
check going?
Shit, I actually want to know too.
I want to know.
'Cause I disagree with this, but I'm gonna let you.
Okay.
do your thing.
If he's paying the mortgage and stuff like that, I think my check will go towards like groceries and because
Where's the rest of your check going?
Because that's pretty
She
inexpensive.
said savings.
I did
Okay.
say savings. I did say savings.
Y'all don't have no.
See,
Y'all,
it's going
y'all
to
got
the-
all joint
It's
accounts.
going to the vacation fund too. I'm helping out.
He made.
Now let's go into the
He
man
makes
account.
$70,000 a year. You make $70,000 a year. Where's your check
Because
going?
respiratory therapists make good money.
Well, so
That's
let
what
me-
she going
well,
to school for.
Let's
clearly,
go into the Nikes
she
because
don't-
she ain't
she-
wearing them
she-
$9
she-
shoes.
Y'all for this.
she don't have it all mapped out.
I don't.
So I'm
don't.
ask-
This is still like me walking
So-
into my new
She got
life
the
right
part
now.
mapped out where she know where his money going.
No. Okay. But
That part's well mapped out.
But I'm actually just now getting to the point whereas I will be okay with that because I've been so independent now
Mhm.
that like just walking into the whole dating scene now is different for me.
So,
So
my question, because in my viewpoint,
I feel like I'm in a hot seat.
No, you're not. I'm talking to everybody. My viewpoint on marriage is like you're one.
Right.
Financially, you're one.
I know.
I do understand the fact that if you would bring a lot to the table prior to the marriage and you're trying to protect your assets and stuff like that, I can get that. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all are pretty much equally yoked, or if he makes more money than you, but not necessarily substantially more than you, like, why not pool your money together and then allocate based on the pooled amount?
Actually, you know what? Honestly, this is my godly response.
Mm-hmm.
If he is a man that is led by God, I'm going to do what I'm
He's demonstrating that?
Yeah,
Right.
I'm going to follow him. It's not going to be just like we have to follow God without even seeing him.
Right.
I have to follow him the same way.
Have that faith.
Because it's God, your husband, then you.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, then that's when, that's what my goal is, to marry a godly man.
So you're going to
So
get
I
your
wouldn't
check
have to.
and
so
then just hand it over to him?
And
Well,
then
look.
follow his
And
lead.
then follow
If
his
he's a
lead.
godly man, I don't think he'll just say, "Give me your check."
Well, it's that direct deposit.
Hey, I gotta be real with you. I read the Bible. I never read where God was like, ladies, you have to give your husband this amount of your check. So
See, okay.
Wait a minute. She said he's a godly man. He will lead.
He will lead.
You are giving him the resources to lead.
So if he's like, look, we putting all our money in this account and this is where all the
Y'all
bills
I
are
have to.
from.
I have to
Y'all have
trust
a
him.
pool
You
of
have to
money.
trust
I have to trust him.
That's all I need to hear.
You saying
I
you
have
have
to
to trust him to decide where the money need to go.
I have to trust him.
Listen,
If he's a godly man and he's showing that he's following God,
Amen.
Well, I trust
have
that you
to
wouldn't
trust
marry
him.
nothing else.
Well,
Got a lot of
That's
faces.
yeah.
Well,
Because I actually just read. I actually just read about that, and that's what that's where I'm going to. If he's a
Where
godly
you
man,
read about that at?
I was reading something on Instagram. Okay,
Instagram.
but it's the truth. It's
I
the
thought she was
truth.
reading Kingdom Woman.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Okay, so but. Well, we are on here to tell the truth, right?
We
Okay,
are.
so I did read on Instagram.
Well, we don't lie on the Reserved Man podcast.
But it made a lot of sense. If he's a godly man, you're supposed to trust him, even if you don't agree. Just like we don't agree sometimes with things that God is doing. No, you pray on it, because like we may not agree with some of the things that God's doing. We may not, because we're human. We're like, God, what are you doing? And if he's a godly man, God is going to show him the right path, and you just have to trust it. And it's not your job to fight him on it at that moment, but to pray. Because then if you decide to fight him on it, then you become combative, and then all of a sudden there's a problem. Then now you're allowing the devil to intervene between what God is trying to do.
Hold on 1 second. Ashley.
Well, I grew up different than Ty. I grew up in a 2-parent household. My dad worked and my mom didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I was younger, I kind of looked at my mom as being weak, because I always thought, like, if my dad was to leave you, what would you do? You know? Like, what would you do then? How would you take care of us? Or how would you provide for yourself? You know?
Yeah.
So I've always thought, like, I never want to be in a situation like that where a man, my dad wasn't controlling or anything. Like, my mom, she shopped, she spent the money however she wanted to, or, she did, whatever she wanted to do. He was not like,
He was a good guy. He was a good guy.
So,
Shouts out to Dad.
he was never, like, controlling or anything, but I just always thought, like, I
What
never
if?
want to be in that situation. Like, what if? I have 2 kids. So, for me, I'm definitely not looking for a man to provide for me and my kids, or to lead me. I don't want to follow a man's lead. That's why I said I don't believe I want to be married. Like, I've always said I don't want to be married. I just want to have a wedding so I could get dressed up and stuff. But I don't want to be. I feel like marriage is kind of like a business decision in some part.
It is a contract.
It's love and
It's accurate.
Yeah, like outside of the love, but I just don't see myself wanting to do like wifely duties.
What is wifely duties to you?
Wifely duties to me would consist of making sure my man eats every day. Like, I don't want to cook every day or provide food for someone else outside of my kids. I don't want
Let
to
her finish, man.
I don't want to have to be like
I feel you, friend.
I'm going here. I don't want to have to like emotionally care about how you doing today, or
You just want somebody to have sex with when you feel like it.
yes, and go on dates when I feel like it.
Okay.
So what's the point of these dates?
Do you expect for him to only date you?
Yes.
Yeah, you tripping. You tripping. And the reason I say that, well, one, I think you're going off like an old, like 1950s kind of perception of, I guess, what women are expected to do in the modern day. Like, I think that, yes, like personally, like I like traditional things, but at the same time, I'm very understanding in the fact that I know my wife I can't expect her to go and work full time, keep the house clean, cook me food, and do this all the time and never miss a beat.
Right.
As a man in 2019, I understand that, yeah, I'm going to still take care of everything outside, but I know that at times, like, I might have to go wash some clothes. You know, I might have to go help her. If she had a rough day, I need to go clean the kitchen or something like that.
So what do you expect from your wife as a wife? Like,
what do I expect my wife to be? The best partner that she can be. It's not about her necessarily cleaning and cooking, you know, that type of stuff. That stuff is not that important. I can do that stuff myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, I do appreciate that she can do that for me. When she does do it for me, I do appreciate it. But I never have the expectation that, yeah, she need to feed me every single day.
yeah.
Like, if we had kids at this point in time, like, her priority, yeah, I would be like, let's us make sure that our kids are eating. Like, not, it wouldn't be like, oh, you better make sure my kids eating every day.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
So if you coming home from work and stuff, and your wife, let's just say your wife works full time, right?
Yes.
And she just never cleans up, never does.
That's different.
Anything like that.
That's different. That's laziness to me. Because if you, for you just not to clean up, for you to see filth and not do anything about it, and you're waiting on me to do it, to me, that's not a good sign. Like, for one, like I say, I'm a traditionalist to an extent. Like, I do believe in some traditional values for a woman. I do think that men and women do have certain roles.
And
like,
what roles do you feel like women have?
Well, let me take the word roles back. Like, I would expect a woman to be tidy and clean. I'm not saying she has to know how to cook, but a woman, to me, and it can work for any relationship. There's some guys like Shagari, he likes to cook. Like, that's his thing. You know what I'm saying? So he might cook more than his girl. Whereas me, I would want my woman to cook more than I cook, you know, but that's just a preference.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the most important things to me is, you know, that my wife loves me for who I am, that she's going to be my supporter no matter what, that whenever we do have kids, she'll be the mother that my children need, and that if something would have ever happened to me, that she can hold it down for my kids. That's the most important stuff to me. Her washing dishes or washing some clothes or making sure the house clean every single day, that's not, at the end of the day, that's not the most important stuff to me.
Well, let me see. Well, I'm sorry, brother. Let me go ahead and jump in there, because there's a lot of things that Stan said that I agree with, and there's a lot of things that I'm going to kind of take a step further or kind of jump on a limb on my own, because I don't want to make it seem like my opinion is the same as his opinion 100%. So it to me, it just depends on what my wife would be doing, right? If I'm in a, I want a career woman. I'm single. I'm not married. I'm not going to pretend like I'm married, but I would want a career woman. If I have a career woman, we have to split some of the chores, kind of like what Stan was saying, 50-50. Like, I can't expect a woman to work full time and come home and keep a house 100% without my help. You know, because to me that's unrealistic.
It's not fair.
And right, and that's not fair. That, to me, that's ridiculous. But, big but, if I'm the one that's doing the working, and let's say hypothetically she's not working, which that's not what I want, but hypothetically she's not working, then those traditional gender roles come into play, because if I'm the one bringing home all the bacon and I'm the one taking care of the house, I'm the one making sure everybody got everything.
Not entire home. She ain't doing pork.
I better not. I better not come home and I ain't got no food into no dirty house. I'm just saying, I don't believe in adults laying in the house all day long and stuff not done. Again, but if my wife is working and she's a career woman, I'd be ridiculous to assume and think that she'd be able to handle all that in work while I'm just when I'm working just as much and I'm not pulling my weight. So it just kind of depends on what situation that you got going on at your house. So yeah, that's my opinion. If you both working, split the chores. If my wife would be sitting at home all day, I'd expect her to take care of everything else.
Thank God I don't want to be a housewife.
No, I mean, here's the thing.
Yeah, no housewife.
First of all, what most people go astray in this conversation is that, you know, they pretend like we still in the same place we were in our grandparents' times.
That's right. That's the main issue.
The reason why men had to establish that they could provide is because women couldn't work. We're in a totally different time now. There's more women going to college and graduating than men, particularly in the black community. You know, so that's just not working.
Agreed, 100%.
The whole you hold everything down and I'm gonna do whatever I want with my check. That's just foolish.
Not bad. That's not what
Today, it ain't. We gonna be traditional when I want, and then we gonna be modern when I want.
But some women feel that way.
That's my point. Every two people are different.
Right.
You know, I have friends where, you know, one babysits on Thursday nights, one babysits on Friday nights, and then they, you know, so the other one can go out with their friends, and then they swap up the next week. I have a cousin where his wife's a nurse, so she do 5 and 2. So you know, they situation is whoever gets home first cooks. Like it's whatever works between two people.
Exactly.
Like it's not. We no longer in a time where it's like I'm gonna do this the guy stuff.
And you gonna
I'm gonna do you gonna do that.
Wait a minute. I don't believe in having my wife outside cutting grass and I'm sitting in the house watching TV.
Wait, now I plan to cut grass when I
So you can't control that nowadays.
On the reason why, because it's cardio.
But I'll say this.
You can't tell.
I can't tell her she can't cut the grass. All I'm saying is if she's cutting the grass, I can't be inside watching TV. Like I gotta be weed eating. I gotta take a turn on the lawnmower.
You gotta be cutting the grass.
I gotta be doing something. If she gotta cut the grass, I gotta be doing something.
If she cutting the grass and you out there weed eating, I don't know, dog. That ain't gonna.
I gotta be doing something.
To me, that's even worse. She cutting the grass. She got a whole lawnmower. You got out there with a weed eater.
Hey, man, but what I'm saying is,
you better be out there with like a tiller, like we about to plant some crops.
But what I'm saying is, I can't be inside the house. I can't be watching college game day.
Right.
And she outside cutting the grass. I don't care if she won't do it or not. To me, that's just ridiculous. Like, there's certain things that I believe in gender roles. Like, for example, if we riding together, I don't care who paying for the gas. I got to pump the gas. If we walking, I got to be on the car side of the street. Oh, yeah. Like, it's just certain things that I believe that men have to do. No matter what the situation is. And I'm not trying to be controlling. I'm not trying to be a caveman, because I appreciate the progress that my sisters have made in the workplace and in their lives. But there's just certain things I feel like as a man I just got to do.
Right, and that's just the same. Like when you're in a relationship as a female, there's certain things that you have to do.
And you don't
want to do those things. Any of them. I mean, but here's the thing. Like, okay, there is give and take in every relationship, you know, and we're at a place, you know, in 2019 where you can basically find any kind of relationship you want. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna have limitations as far as the kind of relationship you're willing to give, like, if you're gonna tell him we can't get married, and I'm not gonna do any of this stuff, like, I don't see how at the same time you could say but you have to stay with just me. Like, you can't be looking for nobody else. Like, I don't see how that works.
You just said that
has a
there's
point.
different types of relationships.
There is. But I just don't know anybody that's going to be like, we can't ever have more. You're not going to ever want to do any of these things. But you can only deal with me.
Well, actually,
Like,
Where you from, Ashley?
I'm from Baton Rouge.
Okay.
that situation can work. I just think that in most of the situations, this is my honest opinion, I could be wrong. I think that most of those guys will still just have other options as well. They'll fulfill what you need,
that's what...
but they'll have other options to fulfill what they need.
Eventually, they'll want more stability.
No, that's a gift.
I understand they're guys, you know,
That's
you
a
like
gift. That's a
stability.
gift.
But yes, eventually they'll want something more certain.
And then that's when we move on.
Okay.
Like they go
Pimp.
do.
Out here.
No,
Pimp.
I'm not saying like I'm pimping or anything. I'm just saying like if I'm not giving you what
Which
you
is
want,
something pimps would say.
Then you move
Exactly.
then you move on.
Feel more slim.
Right?
Yeah, I mean that's true. That is true.
Like with dating as an adult, you just have to be honest and you have to tell people like this is what I'm looking for, this is what I want. And then if they accept it, they accept it, and if they don't,
They don't.
don't.
And you roll on out.
Man, we've had such a great conversation today. We've talked about so much. You know, I really would like to continue this later,
But we might have to
but
have a
we
part
have
two.
got to start talking about our black prominent figure.
Right.
You know we gonna do this all year round, not just during Black History Month. And we gonna give it to you right after this. All right, everybody, we are back with our black prominent figure. GP, who do you have for us, brother?
Well, brother, I got a good one for you.
Well,
We're going to talk about Miss Rebecca Lee Crumpler, right? Born Rebecca Davis. She was born February 8, 1831, excuse me, in Christiana, Delaware. And Miss Davis at the time, she studied at the New England Female Medical College, and she was the first African American woman to graduate with a medical degree.
Okay.
So Dr. Crumpler was the first African American woman documented to be a physician in United States history. So big ups to Dr. Crumpler. She paved the way for a lot of minority doctors, and you know, in a celebration of black excellence, I can't sing her praises enough.
that's
Shout out to
really
her.
amazing. I cannot believe that happened.
In the 1800s, yeah.
Yeah.
And she was married twice. Her first husband passed away, but both of her husbands were freed slaves.
All right. Well, we salute you, Miss Crumpler.
Dr.
Dr.
Crumpler.
Crumpler.
Say it right.
Dr. Crumpler.
Put some respect on her name.
That's right.
Please.
You know, I can't believe I went out and got one of the few doctorates where they don't have to call you doctor.
Hey.
Dr. Brown would have sounded so good.
All right, Dr. J, we got you, brother.
Anyway, man, can you tell the people how to find you and your outdoor working out shenanigans?
You can find me on Instagram at Tyeasha Danielle, TyeashaDanielle. That's my Instagram page. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Ty Matthews at TYE. And last name Matthews, that's 2 T's. And I post all information on both platforms concerning boot camps or anything just going on. Like I also like to do challenges. So right after the boot camps, we'll go straight into like some challenges and stuff. And that's what keeps me motivated as well.
Well, we're going to have to post some clips of your boot camp and all that and whatnot. But
Don't scare the people now.
Oh no,
No. We're not gonna scare
We're
the
just
people.
trying to promote the business. That's all.
All right.
And
Hey.
we'll add the social media hashtags on the captions of our posts for this
Absolutely.
episode.
do you have anything that you would like to say, Ashley?
You want to solicit some Instagram followers, ma'am?
Sure. You can follow my business page, NYA_accessories, on Instagram.
What kind of
Yeah,
accessories?
that's what I'm about to say. What kind of...
Let them
You didn't
Ladies.
mention your business at all. Talk about it.
I sell ladies accessories like pendants,
Well,
clutches, handbags, shades,
okay.
all of that.
Okay. We gonna add your stuff to it too.
It's
Right.
2019. Guys like that stuff too, apparently.
Not these guys.
Not these
But
guys.
we will send you business though. We will send you
But
business.
I've seen guys with fanny packs and purses and all kind of stuff.
Millennial guys.
Millennial guys.
Millennial.
Millennials.
Young guys.
We
Like
millennials.
fashionable.
Hey, but
Y'all
we
should-
on that border though. Like we really
millennials.
count.
Well, millennials stop at 95, I think. So, not necessarily millennials.
Let's go with that.
It's
I
that
like
new
that.
generation.
Yeah,
Right.
you new guys. Mumble rap guys.
Right,
With
those guys.
the blouses.
Man, if y'all have not, at this point, y'all listen to all this. If you have not followed the Reserved Man, if you have not subscribed and sent our episodes to your friends, I'm just so disappointed. But we're going to talk about this so much more. We post stuff throughout the week. We listen to your questions. Check us out on IG at The Reserved Man. That's it, y'all. We are out.